Great question. Understanding the hypothetical level of the Edwards Aquifer in 1845 can help us reconstruct a more natural, unaltered version of the central Texas landscape before modern groundwater exploitation. Here's a detailed breakdown of what the aquifer likely looked like back then and how it would have changed the environment. 1. Hypothetical aquifer level in 1845. In 1845 pre-industrial period, before major European settlement impacts and groundwater pumping, aquifer levels would have been at or near their natural equilibrium, governed almost entirely by rainfall, natural recharge, and spring discharge, not artificial drawdown from wells. Como Springs and San Marcos Springs, the largest and second largest springs in Texas, would have had stronger and more consistent flows year-round. Numerous smaller springs and seeps that are now dry or intermittent would have been active. The potentiometric surface water table of the confined aquifer segment near New Braunfels and San Marcos was likely 50 to 100 feet higher than today, depending on exact location. Supporting data, the U.S. Geological Survey and Edwards Aquifer Authority data suggest that before groundwater pumping began in earnest approximately 1880s-1930s, spring flows were constant and never ceased. For example, Como Springs never stopped flowing until the 1950s. Simulations by hydrologists, e.g., Slade et al., 1985, McClay, and Land, 1988, show the aquifer head levels under pre-development conditions were significantly higher, sometimes over 700 feet above sea level near Como Springs, compared to approximately 630 to 660 feet today. 2. Landscape appearance and hydrological features 1845. A. Lush riparian zones. Thick vegetation along creek beds and springs, cottonwoods, willows, bald cypress, and lush grasslands. Perennial stream flow in rivers like the Blanco, San Marcos, and Cibolo, with less flashy, more stable flow regimes. Wetlands and marshy areas around the spring complexes and along Lower York Creek and dry Como would have existed, possibly supporting amphibians, migratory birds, and native fish species now in decline. B. Numerous surface springs, small springs, seeps, and artesian discharges would have dotted the landscape, especially along the Balcones escarpment, a critical discharge zone for the Edwards Aquifer. Homesteaders in the 1800s wrote of springs gushing from the rocks in areas where no such features exist today due to falling water tables. C. More abundant wildlife. Constant water availability supported larger herds of bison, deer, antelope, and predators like wolves and cougars. The indigenous Tonkawa, Coahuiltecan, and Comanche peoples utilized these watering holes and lush valleys for hunting and gathering, contributing to sustainable land use. 3. Visual and ecological comparison. How the region would have appeared in 1845 landscape near New Braunfels, Spring Flora, Marcos, year-round intermittent would have encountered some springs, dry up seasonal streams, behavior flowing creeks year-round, with steady small creeks like York Creek, storm-dependent Flausac Creek, pressure clear in cold water bubbling from requiring mechanical lift pumping paradise in the arid forest summer, sea green belts, wetlands, reddish tree prairies merging encroached by invasive species, wildlife and cedar breaks along higher ground, less erosion and incision, sensitive aquatic and soil would have been stabilized by sustainable water flow and vegetation. Minimal impact to agriculture, mining, in 1845, the Edwards Aquifer was at or near its full natural capacity, with widespread surface expression through springs, seeps, and constant stream flow. The landscape would have been visibly wetter, greener, and more biologically diverse. Much of what we now see as dry land, intimately integrated into the natural ravines, far from the hidden, depleted resource it is often treated as today. Lawyers' societal almost all very low to be closeted homos and solve this problem. This is strongly due to the fact that the people in charge are closeted homosexual secret society group. Members who are very low IQ, extremely narcissistic, have low testosterone, and are minions of the devil, which makes sense in the context of us being in the biblical dispensation of Satan's